Imagine an Africa untouched by the chains of colonialism, a continent where empires flourished, resources fueled innovation, and self-governance laid the foundation for a united future. A place, much like Wakanda from Black Panther, where culture, technology, and prosperity thrived. But that dream was stolen, ripped apart by centuries of exploitation, systemic oppression, and global greed. Today, we're going to uncover how white colonial powers prevented the real Wakanda from ever existing. Before colonialism, Africa was home to some of the most advanced civilizations in history. The Mali Empire, led by Mansa Musa, the richest man to ever live, was a hub of wealth, trade, and education. Timbuktu's libraries held manuscripts on astronomy, medicine, and philosophy, knowledge that could rival any European institution of the time. In Central Africa, the Kingdom of Congo had a sophisticated government system. The Benin Empire created intricate bronze sculptures that astonished the world.
The Kingdom of Benin was founded around the 11th century and thrived for centuries, reaching its peak during the 15th and 16th centuries. What made this kingdom extraordinary was its artistry, particularly the Benin bronzes.
These weren't primitive societies. These were thriving civilizations on the cusp of incredible potential. But then came the European colonial powers. In 1884 at the Berlin Conference, European leaders divided Africa like a pie, carving out territories without a single African voice in the room. Nations like Belgium, Britain, and France didn't just colonize Africa, they plundered it. In the Congo, King Leopold II of Belgium turned the region into his personal fiefdom, enslaving millions to extract rubber. Those who didn't meet quotas faced mutilation or death. Entire societies were destroyed to feed Europe's industrial revolution. Africa fought back. Leaders like Patrice Lumumba in Congo and Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana dreamed of a united, prosperous Africa.
Combattants de l'indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux, je vous salue au nom du gouvernement congolais. À vous tous, mes amis, qui avez lutté sans relâche à nos côtés, je vous demande de faire de ce 30 juillet 1960 une date illustre que vous garderez ineffaçablement gravée dans vos cœurs, une date dont vous enseignerez avec fierté la signification à vos enfants, pour que ceux-ci, à leur tour, fassent connaître à leurs fils et à leurs petits-fils l'histoire glorieuse de notre lutte pour la liberté. Nous avons connu les ironies, les insultes, les coups que nous devions subir matin, midi et soir, parce que nous étions des nègres. Qui oubliera qu'à un noir, on disait tu, non certes comme à un ami, mais parce que les voeux honorables étaient réservés aux seuls blancs.
But those dreams were short-lived. Lumumba, who dared to challenge Western control, was assassinated, with evidence pointing to CIA and Belgian involvement. Colonial powers feared a strong, self-sufficient Africa. Instead of allowing independence to flourish, they destabilized governments, funded civil wars, and installed puppet leaders to maintain control over resources like oil, diamonds, and cobalt. Africa is one of the wealthiest continents in terms of natural resources. The Congo alone holds an estimated $24 trillion worth of minerals. But instead of fueling African prosperity, these resources were siphoned off by multinational corporations and corrupt regimes backed by foreign powers. From gold to uranium, the wealth of Africa built Western nations while leaving its people impoverished. To justify this exploitation, colonial powers spread a myth: the idea that Africans were incapable of governing themselves. This racist propaganda wasn't just about controlling land. It was about controlling minds. It seeped into global consciousness, shaping policies that suppressed African innovation and painted the continent as dependent on Western aid rather than a victim of Western theft. Even after colonialism ended, the chains remained. This is what we call neo-colonialism. Multinational corporations still extract Africa's wealth while giving little back. Foreign loans burden African nations with unpayable debt. And proxy wars, often fueled by outside powers, keep the continent divided. But let's pause for a moment and imagine, what if this never happened? What if Africa had been allowed to chart its own course? Imagine a united Africa leading the world in technology, powered by its vast natural resources. Imagine African cities rivaling Silicon Valley, with innovations coming from the very lands where resources are now exploited. The spirit of Wakanda isn't just fiction. It's alive in the innovators, leaders, and communities fighting to rebuild what was stolen. Tech hubs in Kenya, renewable energy projects in Rwanda, and the cultural explosion of Afrobeat music show that Africa's potential is limitless. But for a real Wakanda to exist, the world must confront its role in Africa's suppression and support its growth, not through charity, but through justice. The real Wakanda was possible, and in many ways it still is. But it requires unlearning centuries of lies, dismantling systems of exploitation, and celebrating Africa not as a victim, but as a source of strength, innovation, and hope. What do you think the world would look like if Africa had been allowed to thrive? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that challenge the narratives we've been told. Until next time, I'm Rich, and this is Not for Television. Stay curious and continue to inspire. See you on the next one.